For those that don't know, this is Mat Armstrong's BMW E24. Now, throughout this series, we've hand fabricated just about this whole chassis rail. We've done inner and outer sills, we've done floor sections, jacking points, we've done the rear sills, inner and outer, also done the rear tow hook, as well as other little bits and bobs. In this video, we're going to continue on this underside. We're going to finish all the little bits and bobs that we do need to do, but first we're going to start removing all this underseal from this engine bay and this chassis rail. Right, so I've taken most of the underseal off the engine bay and this chassis rail, and I'm quite happy with how that's turned out actually. Now, the reason I did that is to make sure that there's no other catastrophes that I actually have to sort, which there isn't, which is good. So now that's done, I'm going to move on to this section here. Now, this is where the back seat support actually meets this floor pan, and obviously it's a lapped panel and it's decided to rust itself through. So I'm going to cut this section out here, and I may need to repair a little bit of that back seat support, but I'll do that from this bottom side because I'll have good access there. So I'll mark out exactly what I want to cut, I'll cut it out and I'll take it from there. Right, this section here is part of the back seat support. Now, now I cut that floor section out and it actually revealed a lot of corrosion on the bottom of this section here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottom of this off, and that'll give me space to actually repair that floor because I can see some holes back here, I can see some corrosion up here as well. So I'll just cut all that out, refabricate that on the floor section, and then I can refabricate this on this support section here. Right, I've got this section welded in, but before I grind it down, I do want to turn this car around, and while I've got the welds right, I can weld this section up here. I can also weld this section here. Now, I made this a couple of videos ago, and this basically goes just up there like that, and that completes that section, that covers that hole up there. So I'm going to spin the car around, get that welded, weld this in, and then grind it all down. Right, so that's that piece sorted, that L shape on the back, and I've also welded and ground this bit down here as well. Now, what I do want to do is I want to start taking this paint off down here, all the way down to this backside, and just make sure that there's no hidden surprises underneath that paint. Right, so taking that paint off, and thankfully there's no surprises under there. So what I want to do now is do a lot of these little sections. So there's a hole here, which should be a hole, but it's actually a bigger hole now. Like it should be like this, but it's not, it's like this. So I'm going to cut that out, fabricate a new piece and get that welded in. But also I want to take all these little sections off here. Now these are basically what the brake and fuel lines used to be connected to. And they've got a small little thread in them, and they're obviously connected to the floor pan. I want to get rid of these because most of them are rusty and unusable. Get rid of these and weld up any holes that I need to. And then obviously when we come to putting the brake and fuel lines back on, we can use some aftermarket fixings to obviously secure them in place. So I'll take these off and I'll fabricate this piece here. Right, so before I cut that piece that you just seen me cut, I popped this in there. You may have seen me put this in. Now, there's a wiring harness that is actually very close to that point that I was cutting, and I didn't want to cut through it or burn it, so I did actually put this in the way. But what I do want to do before I weld is I want to take this wiring harness completely out and send it back through that way, just to make sure that I don't burn, melt, or accidentally cut through it.